The use of butter as ointment for burns was an old remedy found in many cultures. As I watched my mother mold the butter in her hands, my thoughts wandered. Why is she so calm now? Moments ago, she was a storm unleashed, raging, spanking me for attempting to get cookies from atop a cabinet. I fell on the stove that was turned on to heat our apartment. My clothes, arm, and torso caught fire. She found me on the floor, yelling and rolling as I went back and forth. Stop, drop, and roll is what Sesame Street taught me. My mother was 22 at the time. The only remedy she could offer was what was passed down to her: whipping for a correction and butter for a burn. A moment in time, developing the high pain tolerance became the foundation of the strength and determination needed to create my forge to success. I am a corporate leader, resilient change maker, descendant of the Tuskegee experiment, a daughter of the Steel City, a pioneer and inspiration to all. I am Paulina Johnson. Up to that point, the only memory I recall included my grandmother, Pauline, the woman I was named after, sharing on the phone with someone. Yes, I still have articles of when Paulina Johnson was featured in the paper as a pretty baby. How I love my grandmother. She always had a way of making her grandchildren feel loved and special. Her house was always filled with music, dancing, and playing dress up with wigs. My mother extended my left arm and began rubbing butter all over it. Then she rubbed butter on my torso. I began crying and telling her that the butter wasn't working. The pain became excruciating, something my 5-year-old nervous system couldn't handle. I drifted in and out of consciousness for days. Butter on a wound is now understood to be very harmful. It traps heat, promotes bacterial growth, and delays healing. And although we lived across the street from the hospital, my mother would wait weeks before she checked me in. Being severely burned at the age of 5 became the defining precursor to my childhood experience. My early years were marked with trauma, abuse, and neglect. Cycles of instability shaped much of my upbringing, moving from place to place, never knowing how long I would stay, and often lacking a true sense of safety or belonging. Even as a 4th grader living in a homeless shelter, I had already discovered how to compartmentalize my life, pushing past pain and uncertainty into the background and to survive each day with a smile. At the age of 15, when hopelessness and suicidal thoughts became commonplace, my life took a radical turn. "Look at you," my father gasped. "You went out and got yourself pregnant. You're getting an abortion. You're not going to have this baby. Matter of fact, I'm going to make you have this baby, and you're going to end up just like your mother, nothing." By that time, my father, who I once believed to be a superhero, became the shell of a man, a crack addict. No wonder he could say something so harsh to his 15-year-old daughter. I was 4.5 months pregnant. I would bring a new life into the world in a few short months. The weight of that revelation was staggering. I couldn't fully grasp the enormity of the responsibility ahead, but deep inside, I knew I had to make a choice. No amount of wishing or waiting would bring someone to rescue me from my circumstances. I had to change my mind to change my life. For me, education became the lifeline, and as Horace Mann said, is the great equalizer. It offered a way out of poverty into possibility for me. When others urged me to drop out of high school to care for my child, I knew that delaying my education would only delay my future. While pregnant, I made a decision. I must radically accept my reality, summon every ounce of strength within me, and more importantly, developed the expectancy for success in my life. That shift in mindset transformed the way I made decisions and how I planned my life. As a pregnant teen, I would walk on IUN's campus, have people take pictures of me, envisioning myself in the classroom, declaring with certainty, I will be a college graduate. I made a decision that self-advocacy and courage would be the armor and compass I carried to forge my way to success. Living as a 16-year-old homeless teen parent, I refused to let fear or lack of resources become my prison. With tears rolling down my face and a faith that would not break, I wrote a letter to Thomas V. Barnes, who was the mayor of Gary at that time. I requested that he provide me with an attorney so that I could become a legally emancipated minor. The nerve of me, the courage within me. Compelled to grant my request, in a few short months, he put me in the courts and I was granted the emancipation by the state of Indiana. That bold act of courage set my life on an entirely new trajectory. It is no accident that I've spent over 2 decades in the steel industry serving in various corporate roles. Time and again, I was required to be courageous and consistently advocate for myself. All the skills I developed throughout my childhood and as a teen parent. When forging to success, it requires you to advocate and be courageous. Just as steel is forged, shaped, and strengthened by fire, hammer, and relentless pressure, so too was I forged by the heat of adversity and blows of life's challenges. Those experiences molded me into someone stronger, wiser, and unbreakable. Against all odds, I achieved every goal I set my mind to. During my senior year of high school, I was living on my own. I woke up every morning at 5 a.m., riding 2 buses, one to drop my son off at daycare and another to arrive at school. No one set my alarm. No one pushed me out the door. I carried that responsibility alone. I stood in welfare and Calumet Township lines to collect government benefits. By day, I tried to blend in as much as possible as a high school student, and by night, I was a full-fledged adult. ID for poor relief. A temporary badge I would wear, but my mind was renewed. Despite many challenges, my high school voted me most likely to succeed. I graduated 8th in my class. My drive and determination were fueled by poverty itself, by the hunger to know what life was like on the other side of it. That hunger pushed me to make history. I enrolled at IUN and completed the requirements for a 4-year degree in just 3 years, earning a, thank you. Earning a Bachelor of Science in Computer Information Systems by the age of 20. Soon after, I landed a prestigious role as a software developer in downtown Chicago. By 25, I had earned an MBA degree. As the only individual to have completed my IT degree in 3 years, my academic success has been permanently archived in Indiana University's records, and I was honored with the Neil Marshall Alumni Achievement Award. From teen mother to tenacious leader, I am the rose that grew from concrete. My tenacity was forged in Gary, Indiana. Despite a childhood marked by hardship, a trial by fire at the age of 5, and countless struggles that followed, I refused to be defined by adversity. Instead, I embraced it as the fuel that shaped my will to succeed. I achieved against all odds, above poverty, instability, and pain. And that same resilience has become the foundation of my corporate journey. In boardrooms and global business arenas, I have drawn upon the grit and determination forged in my youth, leveraging it to lead teams, influence strategy, and break barriers in industries where I'm often the youngest, the only woman, and the only woman of color. I accepted long ago my responsibility to be a pioneer, a trailblazer, and a change agent for my family and community. My success is not mine alone. It is a direct reflection of the love, support, and investment poured into me by my mentors, educators, family, and of course, my children. Carrying their legacy, I continue to prove against all odds, success is not only possible, it is inevitable when fueled with the faith in God, faith in yourself, courage, and unwavering determination. As you move forward in your own force to success, remember, develop an expectancy of success for your life and discipline your thoughts to dwell on a positive future. Change your mind to change your life. Every run has an end. Learn to self-advocate and be courageous. Do not expect others to do for you what you can do for yourself. Understand that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the relentless determination to move forward despite the presence of fear. Keep your eyes fixed on your North Star, a force that motivates you when the journey is hard. And let me be clear, the journey will be hard. My North Star has always been my children. They are my generational wealth in human form. Paul, Kyler, Phineas, and Phoenix, I love you beyond words. Your force to success will require you to face adversity, build resilience, and rise stronger each time you are tested. Develop a renewed mindset. Just as we learn that butter should never be applied to burns, be open to realizing that what worked for you in the past may not work for the future you want to create. Remember, if I can achieve against all odds, so can you. Thank you.